Mortal Kombat versus DC movie was pitched at Warner Brothers and not happening.
If you have a take that makes ours shitty, by all means, duet, stitch, all of that stuff. I don't bring it on. I love to debate.
Welcome, you nerds. Welcome to another podcasting about nerdy. As always, you're with that nerd ADC. I'm Branden 2K.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
And we got a little bit for you today. A little bit softer episode, but some nuggets in there you're really going to enjoy. So without further ado, let's go with what's blowing up our Twitter, which do we need to update that? What's blowing up our X? I don't like the sound of that.
It's still twitter.com. Until they change that, I'm sticking with Twitter. You're still Twitter, even though you don't have any blue birds around.
So, Elon Musk, forgive us for the spelling mistake, but what's blowing up our Twitter feeds? The first bit of news that we have is Avengers Secret Wars is to serve as a soft reboot for the MCU. Kevin Feige has hinted at this and has bluntly kind of said it. He's actually said, he also has said that we expect to see some familiar faces in this soft reboot. Now, I want to speculate on this a little bit. And with you being the MCU guy, I want to see how you feel about this speculation. Some people are reading into it like, oh, they're going to find a way to bring Cap back and Iron Man back, which I think is true, but I don't think it's going to be Chris Evans and RDJ. So I think if we do get them back, they're going to be like alternate like timeline versions of them. Or he may not mean major players like this. Him saying there's a chance for familiar faces to come back. Maybe somehow Natasha comes back to life, or like stuff like that. So maybe like, no offense to Natasha, I mean, pretty solid character. I'm not trying to say she's not a major character, but you see what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. Like, I think people immediately want to gravitate toward the idea that it has to be big names when he's saying this, and that may not necessarily be true. What's your thoughts? What do you think Kevin Feige means when he's hitting at the soft reboot after Avengers Secret Wars?
So, comic book wise, Secret Wars has not always been in line with what everybody thinks it is. Cap is Falcon right now. Sam Wilson is Cap right now. That is what is going to happen. So I don't think Chris Evans or RDJ makes it back. I believe the release date right now for Secret Wars is 2027. There's like 6 movies in between there. They have plenty of time to let us know what they're going to do. There's also going to be some shaking up on different, like there's going to be characters appearing in other movies back and forth, left and right. So I think it's a little too early for speculation. Natasha's not coming back. I don't think we're getting the throwback characters everybody thinks we're getting. I think those roles will need to be filled on the team, and I feel like the movies leading up to it are going to be solid references for those, but I think that the soft reboot is basically, hey, this is the new direction what the Avengers is going to be like. I don't think it's going to quite be as comedic light as the older Avengers. I think we're going to get more of like the brooding type comedy, like the dark comedy with like say Endgame. I know it was kind of everybody was kind of just devastated that half the world was gone, but they're going to err on the side of dark because the blip did happen, and they're going to remember that, and that's what basically scares everybody into being this way. That's why Secret Invasion was so. I don't think people were quite ready for how the world is as well on that Secret Invasion as well. 1 million scrolls is a lot for people to like grasp if you haven't been watching or been reading comics or anything like that. So I think a lot of people were just like, what's going on here? When everyone else who's other comic book readers, get in the comments, tell me, was Secret Invasion as bad as everyone thought it was, or did it kind of fall in line with what you thought was going to happen just so you could know that Skrulls were around, and then it leads into the Marvels, which I guess is going to have to deal with the Skrulls situation. You kind of need I don't understand that they're traveling back and forth through the dimensions or whatever, but I truly think that they're going to have to use that situation to help deal with the Skrulls. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? We don't even know what the dang plot's going to be.
No.
For the Marvels yet. So there's a giant mashup right now going on in the MCU. And the soft reboot, I think it's just going to kind of streamline it back to a little more focused of a story. But it's going to take a little bit to get there.
No, I think you're right on the money. I think it's more on the lines of he's just saying there's going to be a whole new Avengers team with some of the same titles. Because like you said, we do have a Cap. It's not Steve Rogers, but we have a Cap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ironheart, if they add her to the team, is kind of like your Iron Man. Like I think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying, yeah, these roles are going to be defined with new members. So I think you're right on the money there. I think there could be, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 kind of hinted at a whole new Guardians lineup because we don't have a lot of the originals are following James Gunn over to DC, like the actors. So I think it's exactly that. I think it's just a new lineup. And what that new lineup is, I think you're right. It's too early to speculate. I think we could kind of put pieces together. I mean, obviously, they're probably going to be led by Sam, most likely.
That's a whole nother thing with the roles because Sam isn't Sam's a good soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Sam's a good soldier, and he needed a partner to deal with all that stuff in the Captain in the Winter Soldier, or the Falcon the Winter Soldier. I don't know if he particularly is fit to be that Chris Evans type Captain America role. He certainly kind of is in the comic books, like a little bit, but I don't know. This is going to be an interesting dynamic. It kind of depends on who Feige wants at this point because there's still, again, I said 4 years between this new lineup technically, and but not even that. There's a lot of years between the lineup being introduced and Secret Wars coming out. I mean, also you got to remember Anthony Mackie's not a young man.
No, and so, the other speculation is that they'll be led by Captain Marvel, which I don't like that idea either.
I don't think Brie Larson's Captain Marvel sticks around much longer. If we're gonna talk about reboots and lineup changes, I don't know if that's the case anymore. I think
Kamala Khan, maybe.
No, because it depends. I need to see the Marvels to see how much they aged up Kamala.
Yeah, I can see her being part of the new Avengers. I can see her being part of the new lineup.
New or young. Technically, the universe doesn't have any superheroes like that.
Right.
At least not that I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody tell me in the comments I'm wrong. Maybe I need to rewatch Miss Marvel, but did it seem like there was a lot of people going, oh my gosh, you're this? I think Kamala Khan, the Kamala Khan universe is more X-Men. Like, I think that'll be more X-Men related, which is another reason. We don't know which direction they're going until we see it.
Dream new lineup in the comments. Let us know who you want the new Avengers to be, or the new team to be once we get there. Who do you want them to be led by? Who's on the squad? Interested to hear what you guys think. So speaking of Marvel director, I think his name's Mohammed, said he prefers a James Gunn run DC to a Zack Snyder run DC. So the director of Moon Knight, I want to say his first name is Mohammed, I believe, was asked about what he thought about DC, and he expressed his excitement that now that James Gunn's over there, opposed to the old Zack Snyder vision. And he said he wasn't a big fan of Zack Snyder's vision, and he's really excited what James Gunn's going to do. So people in Marvel supporting DC. Who would have thought? So I tend to agree with this director. Zack Snyder stance. Please don't come after me. If you want to, you can.
What was Zack Snyder's role with WB?
He was a director, but he had a lot to say. Like he was creating the vision, there was not a head of DC until James Gunn. But he obviously was making the blueprint. Zack Snyder was during his.
Obviously, he still got overwritten and didn't get to release his masterpiece.
No, but you could tell by his style. You could tell by his style where it was going, and that's what I'm saying. I didn't much like Zack Snyder's style.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. When this man wanted to drop a 3.5-hour Justice League movie in black and white, something that hadn't been done in a long time, I think Sin City was the last black and white movie that was released mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking Dame, not original.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've seen both.
I have.
What's better?
I don't think that's fair.
How?
So, saying the Joss Whedon cut I don't think that's fair. First of all, the third arc was released to put it on Joss Whedon because one, it's like you were at a football game and you changed the coach last quarter, for one. So he came in and was given like a blanket statement that we want more comedy in this. We want it to fight by the studio and wanted it to be more light, more light, more. We want more here. And Joss Whedon had to come in and be like, okay, I got an idea for this scene. I got an idea for this scene. Oh, by the way, you need to make it shorter too. So he's coming in basically, like I said, like a coach in the last quarter going, I need to get up to speed and I need to figure a way to finish this game. So most of the movie, it looks choppy and bad for a reason because most of the actual movie was done. So honestly, I think they did Joss Whedon dirty by end up giving him director credit for that movie and not Zack Snyder. If anything,
I agree with that.
If anything, you need to be like co-directed or something. I don't know if it's ever been done in the history of movies, but honestly, that's probably was a more fair way to do it, right? In my opinion. But so that's why I'm saying that that's not fair to call it the Joss Whedon cut because
I didn't call it the Joss Whedon cut. I didn't call it that. But here's my thing though. DC hadn't had a decent run in movies ever. Like you can argue the first Batman movies with Michael Keaton were kind of a hit, but didn't they sell more VHS than actual movie tickets then? I would say probably.
Christopher Nolan's run was pretty popular.
Christopher Nolan's run was pretty popular, but what happened with that one?
It ended on a dud, but
it didn't get to connect to a universe.
Mm-hmm.
They could never make it work. How long has WB had the Superman property?
Okay.
Dawn of Time?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has DC how long has Warner Brothers been working with Batman? I'm sorry, with Batman. Long time, right?
Yes, it's like the 60s because of the TV show, right? Yeah.
Wonder Woman 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nobody put a universe together before. Technically, Marvel was doing their thing over there, and basically everybody said, do what Marvel's doing. And I guarantee you, when Joss Whedon walked into that office, they're like, have you been watching the Marvel MCU movies? Are you a fan?
Well, obviously.
How do it over there? I want to copy that business model.
Well, obviously, one of the reasons they brought him in is because he's kind of the godfather of the MCU. Like,
you're right, but here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. I'm telling you that if DC wanted what Marvel was having, they should have had a head of DC Studios since the 60s. This could have been all avoided. If you think about it as the what is the defining moment in leadership at Marvel at Disney?
Appointing Kevin Feige.
You have a spearhead. You have a focal point in which you're going. The hell or high water, there's a guy to blame. Instead of firing and hiring directors left and right.
Yeah.
I have 100% blame the fall of the DCEU as a Snyderverse, not on Zack Snyder, because he didn't have the power to make his universe. They gave him leeway. They gave him leeway to do it. Like, hey, this is going great. We're selling tickets. Yeah. Oh, this one looks really dark. I don't think I like that one. What's the best thing about the animated DC universe?
Storytelling is top notch.
It's how dark it is.
Is that too?
They're allowed to tell the story without fluffing it.
But also the storytelling is amazing.
Oh, absolutely. It's really great reference material that could be used live action or animated. The difference is, I believe there was a head of that animated department as well.
There is.
DC dropped the ball the minute they didn't appoint someone to take the spearhead like they did with Kevin Feige. People will argue that it was Zack Snyder. Just based on what the story you just told me, if Kevin Feige came in and said, "Hey, I'm doing this to this movie," is it an okay or well? What do you think? Do you think Marvel would act like anybody else would be like, let's not do that?
No, they would trust in Feige.
And that's in the title and how much they're paying him yearly.
Mm-hmm.
They're not paying him to touch any movies right now. He's looking at them and okaying them. Obviously, he's probably giving notes, but he's not. You don't hear out of the woodwork. Kevin Feige completely stops production on something. Kevin Feige, no. And when it happens, it's Warner Brothers as a studio doing it. There's no leadership. And if it's a boardroom, that boardroom needs to be set on fire. I said, you're right. I said I was skeptical about James Gunn's run at DC. I was skeptical. Seeing how much power he has and what he's able to do, and nobody's really checking him. Don't get me wrong. You're right. The whole Joss Whedon blaming Joss Whedon for the condition of the first Justice League movie without, obviously the cut, is unfair. I blame Warner Brothers. It should have been directed by Warner Brothers. It shouldn't have been anything other than that. But I think this statement right here, just based on the guy, whoever said this, obviously has no idea the power structure or the hierarchy that goes on in the studio, which is why he'll probably end up staying a director for the rest of his career. And I'm sorry, and I'm really sorry that's really scathing, but like flat out saying that,
it's kind of it's a little bit ignorant. It is.
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah,
it's apples and oranges. It's like comparing a lieutenant to a captain or a captain to a president. Like,
because at the end of the day, Zack Snyder, right, was just a director for Warner Brothers. At the end of the day,
and like, don't get me wrong, they did give him leeway. But as soon as that leash was up and the corporate people didn't want him to do it anymore, they sure as heck got him out of there and got James Gunn in real quick.
And notice, I want to bring this to light. And I don't think people do this on purpose, but the narrative is starting to be painted this way. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this.
I don't.
Have you noticed that when people talk about the new DC, that talk about James Gunn's DC, Peter Safran is never mentioned in the conversation. I just want to point that out there, that it's already James Gunn's show to the public. So even if some decision comes down and it's Peter Safran behind the scenes who made that decision, because keep in mind, they're co-captains.
In different divisions, in my opinion. I believe they split. I believe they are splitting the live action with the animation. I thought of that initially, and I truly believe that. I think there'll even be some CGI movies as well, like full CGI flat out movies as well.
I always saw James Gunn as the creative mind and Peter Safran as the pocketbook, as the financial, like brain. what makes dollars, what makes sense, like type of thing. And I think you need that yin and yang, somebody who understands those aspects. But I just find it very, very interesting that when people talk about the new DC, Peter Safran's very, very rarely mentioned. This is kind of interesting, something to think about.
No, it's very, very, very astute of you to notice that. When we were first talking about this hire, I said I don't know why they're bringing in two head honchos. I said that,
and it could go back to like I said, like James Gunn is the creative mind. He's the creative. So if you want to talk about like a power structure, it's probably like 90% Gunn, 10% Safran, or whatever. So it's kind of interesting. So the next thing I want to talk about is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Test scores look bad. They're testing right in the low 60s, which is very, very bad for a movie.
Really terrible.
It's not a good indication. A lot of times these test screenings are pretty accurate. Not all the time. Sometimes we just go score really low in test screenings and then end up killing it in the box office, but very rarely happens that way. So this is not a good look for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. They'd be scoring, I think it was like 61, 62. So, yeah.
Pretty bad, guys. Ant-Man scored higher.
Right.
Ant-Man 3, sorry. Not Ant-Man. Ant-Man is not Ant-Man 3. We knew this would happen. We have verily, thoroughly went through this with a fine-tooth comb, and we find no reason for this movie whatsoever. It could have not ever been made. I think they had just shot enough that it didn't make sense to stop it, which doesn't make sense either. But we're getting it. The stink bomb is coming out, and they are going to lose so much money on it.
I think this has a lot to do with a couple factors. A lot of them we beat to death. I think you can't argue the Amber Heard factor either.
No, you can't ignore that.
Same thing that kind of destroyed The Flash with Ezra Miller. It's just they're actors and actresses that are like detrimental to movies right now. News came out. News sites are, by the way, are reporting on this. It's not official. Looking this way, by the way, that Ezra Miller is out as the Flash. So keep that, guys, on your radar. Once we have that actually official, like James Gunn says it, like we'll let you know. But right now, a lot of sites are reporting that Ezra Miller is indeed done as the Flash. We'll never see Amber Heard as Mira ever again after this movie.
Yeah, and Aquaman Jason Momoa will not be. Aquaman Jason Momoa is gone too. So. Yeah,
he'll probably be Lobo in the future. But no, so I think that has something to say for this movie as well. Is the Amber Heard of it all? Apparently, she's terrible to work with.
Apparently, Jason Momoa has been making her complete. Like, I've heard stories. So like, I've heard everything from, oh, Jason Momoa is dressing like Johnny Depp to annoy Amber Heard. And then
that's hilarious.
Like, that's how he dresses normally, guys.
Right.
Nothing new. But then I saw another report that he's making her life on set hell all the time. And I'm like, what do you expect? But we all know Johnny Depp is, well received and well respected in all circles around the world, to be honest. He just goes hard. This movie doesn't really have a point.
No,
we know that the universe has been nuked. People just don't want to see this movie, and there's just no point to it. I'm gonna see it, but I'm gonna see it 6 weeks after its theatrical release on HBO Max.
Right.
I'm not gonna get out of my house, out of my seat to go watch it ever.
No. Yeah, I classify this as like either on streaming or if I find it in the dollar bin, like years down the line, because there's no point to this movie. Like, even if you or 9 of my other closest friends were like, dude, Aquaman The Lost Kingdom is a banger.
Let's go see it.
I'm going to be like, is it though? Like, there's just like, even if it was, like, I don't see the point of this movie. So I was like, I'll trust your word for it, and I'll eventually get around to seeing it. But even you saying it's good is not enough for me. And it feels like you're the same way. Like even if it gets high reviews and people are like, it's good,
I'm not wasting my money. It, like you said, it's the Amber Heard of it all. But for me, it's literally the poopy flavored lollipop of all time movies right now. Like, I could have gone my whole life without seeing this movie because there's no point.
And the reason I think they're pushing it so hard is they want to remake the magic of the first one, and it's not going to happen.
They're pushing it so hard just so they don't lose their butts on it.
Well, that too, but I'm saying like I think there's this thought that it could at least match the first one box office wise, and that's not going to happen. It's just not.
I'm calling it right now half.
I think it'd be generous if they get there. Honestly, it's going to underperform so much compared to the first one. It's not making $1 billion like the first one did, and I would be surprised if it makes half of that.
Yeah, I don't 350, 400 tops, and that's just incorporating the horny mom situation. You want to go see Jason Momoa with his shirt off. That's the only appeal of this movie you have. And I've heard he's technically in his armor a lot, so you might get a lot of disappointed ladies. I'm sorry.
And I hear it's more of a bromance than anything between Orm and Aquaman. So between Patrick Wilson and Jason.
Which I don't want to see either. Like, if that is real, if that rumor is real, I'm definitely going to come on here and poop on him. Like, hey, let's get Red Skull and Captain America together and let's have a buddy cop movie. That better not be real. That's
what I'm hearing. Speaking of things that are not going to be real, Mortal Kombat versus DC movie was pitched at Warner Brothers and not happening. This is one of those like, what type of scenarios? Like, why? I could tell you why. Yeah.
And then they can make a game again.
Yeah.
And now they're using the Injustice 2 engine anyway, so we can just throw them together. I'm over the Mortal Kombat IP right at this current point. I'm tired of the news. I'm ready for Mortal Kombat 2. Wait.
I'm not. Mortal Kombat 1 was bad.
Let's not go on that vitriol. Next.
No, that's not.
Well reserved.
So yeah, I'm glad this movie isn't happening. It was like, oh, it doesn't sound like a cool concept though. No, not really. So
it makes no sense.
So I don't need to see Batman versus Scorpion. I don't. Oh, now you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Who's grappling hooks faster? But here's the thing. That's what they're trying to get you with. And I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. I need someone in the world. I don't know how you can do it with all the copyright issues and stuff like that, but somebody in this world. And I'm putting this on tape so that y'all know I did it. It's timestamped, all that good stuff. This is just so you know who. If somebody comes and steals it, I get my cut. But anyway, if someone would make a game or a simulator or something where you can input the feats you see in film and comic books and actually run these simulations. I know it's almost impossible because of, the copyright situations. But if we could just figure it out. And I know there's a lot of things out there that are inflammable, but
well, Superhero Beatdown has done a lot of this.
The Superhero Beatdown has, but have they flat out gone in and given us a visual, however long movie we need of exactly what's happening, or are they just talking?
They have cutscenes and stuff like that of it, yeah. And I want to say Batman versus Scorpion was one.
Okay. Superhero Beatdown. I'm coming to look at you.
Yeah. I haven't watched him for a while, but I used to be on this kick where I watched him a lot. And I want to say that was a matchup. Is there a Superman Beatdown, or what's the other one that's like something under the sun? One of those places did it. I want to say Scorpion versus Batman. But no, I think nerds talk about these matchups at the water cooler, but I just don't think it's a full-fledged movie that we need. I think like a simulator or something like that, like you're talking about, is be fine. I don't need a movie.
Or a game. Settle and make it so real. I understand why they haven't done it, because if you do that, you're going to have people who are more powerful and blah, 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 blah. But just to settle some debates, just to settle some good debates. But don't get me wrong. But
no. So let us know who you think would win if we would have got that movie. I'd like to know. Lastly,
Superman solos, and if anyone else says anything else, Superman solos. I'm just kidding. Goku solos.
Superman versus Goku. Bring it on. Marvel believes 8-Man 3 was a banger, and they're terribly wrong. They can believe all they want.
Volume alert, guys. Volume alert. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you guys in on the laugh that I got from this. I saw it and I literally was like. Hey, I'll tell you this much. I looked forever, and by forever, I mean a solid 10, 15 minutes to make sure that nobody was actually attached to that quote, because, oh boy.
You roast them.
People say silly things anonymously. People say silly things. The only good thing out of that movie is we got Jonathan Majors as Kang.
Yes, I was about to say that. That was the highlight of the movie.
But then, instead of protecting the man, protecting your money, you let charges pop up on this man? Disney, I understand. You're the biggest corporation in the world. I understand, letting things happen and letting them play out first. But how much money do y'all actually have? Because I've seen some crazy stuff disappear. I've seen some insane things disappear. Anybody notice that the Seven Dwarfs movie got changed? What was the other thing? Just when you think of Disney, you think of controversy. Always. That's the first thing you think of.
Mm-hmm.
How many things have stuck to Disney actors while they were at Disney? How many people have gotten in trouble?
Not many.
The ones who won't let go.
Yeah, not many. It seems like they're waiting for things to blow over, and they have, because Jonathan Majors. I have not started watching Loki season 2, but I'm pretty sure he's still in it.
I don't know if they even went to his division yet.
But I know, like in the trailers and stuff, he's supposed to be a big part of the season. So that remains to be seen. But I think Kang's not going anywhere. I don't think Jonathan Majors is going anywhere.
No, I think Disney messed up. I don't think they anticipated this little move. That's why it's kind of fallen off really quickly, and there was really quickly we've got evidence refuting this. We're going to go to court and make sure. Like that was very quickly after it was announced. So, I'm just shocked they let it happen in the first place, and I'm sure Bob is just fuming that it was happening. But I just think that if there's people out there saying anonymous things. There's people out here saying anonymous things. Like at least the director from Moon Knight put his name on a quote and said, I think the James Gunn era at DC that hasn't even started yet and hasn't had a major theatrical release or a television release yet under his banner is already better than Zack Snyder's verse. Anyway, stop saying things anonymous, people. Put your name on your quote. At least that way we can all tell you how full of crap you are. If you think Antman 3 was a banger, we need to go ahead and get you rickrolled and attach you to your Millie and Vanilli lunchbox and put your booty back on the bench because you don't belong anywhere near any of my movies.
Because you're obviously way out of touch. So, no. I think it's one of those things where they're just like, we have to tell ourselves that because, like, if we say it enough, we might believe it. And
just say Apple. You can't talk about how good the iPhone is. Where everyone tells you, even Apple doesn't do that. Hey, we stand behind the iPhone 15 and the overheating issues and the back glass breaking.
I don't know.
You don't hear any of that.
Maybe Apple doesn't do it, but Apple users sure do it. Apple users are a cult, man. I will stand by that. You guys are a cult. Leave me and my
Blue Text Gang.
Leave me and my Samsung alone. Okay, moving on. Borat maybe to play Mephisto. So I can see this as a pretty good casting for Sacha Cohen to do it. I don't think it's far-fetched.
It's not far-fetched. He's listed as Mystery Man in the Marvel.
Yeah, so I'd be fine with this. Give it to come to pass. Okay,
so here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Mephisto is a comedic evil genius. Not. He's very serious. He's a jerk. He's very full of himself. He's basically the devil incarnate in Marvel. We have not gotten to see Sacha Baron Cohen go serious in a role in quite a long time, if ever.
But I think history has proven comedians can do this very, very well. So you look at like Robin Williams and some of the roles like he's done that have not been comedic. Chris Rock, and like Fargo or what's that spinoff he did of Saul, but or in the acting world like Jordan Peele, like I think comedians have proved time and time again that they can, and they're able to flip that switch. So I am very, very positive that he can too. Because I think it's just embedded in a comedian. Because you have to know how to, control an audience, especially as a comedian. You see what I'm saying?
Comedians make the best heels too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, way to come to his defense. I completely agree. I believe Sacha Baron Cohen's going to come in and crush this. I think if this gets done properly, they're
not campy or something like that.
This gets done properly, do it right. This could be a Heath Ledger Joker level appearance.
Very well could.
I believe it could be a manifestation of the character that's never been done before, but will be brought to a brand new light. Simply because he was being brought here. I am a massive Sacha Baron Cohen fan. I think he is supremely underrated. I hope they give him I hope they let him just work because I believe his work ethic in comedy being brought to a dramatic evil character could be absolute magic for Marvel.
It could be.
I really, really, really don't want them to mess this up because if it goes, who likes to mess with Mephisto? The DC boy does not know. He loves messing with mutants.
Oh, that's right.
But there's one mutant, especially that he loves to mess with.
Is it Wanda? Who?
Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
We have a chance to have Sacha Baron Cohen and Ryan Reynolds in the same movie.
Oh, that's epic.
I'm sorry, and if anybody has any reservations about what I'm going to say, you can delete us off of all social media. I love Ryan Reynolds from the bottom of my heart. He's a national treasure to America without being American. Those two in the movie would be astronomical. You can't get Will Ferrell to just pop in somewhere just for pop value. Don't get me trailing off onto that because there are a lot of comedians that need to do serious stuff, and Will Ferrell is the number one guy who needs to find himself a serious role.
Will Ferrell or Sacha Cohen?
Will Ferrell.
Oh, Will Ferrell. Okay. I
think this is Sacha Baron Cohen's first major mainstream breakthrough. Like, don't get me wrong, Borat was, but he technically directed that and I would put that on the par of Jackass. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I'm not the comedic. Obviously, it's what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, as far as budget and stuff like that.
It's just Jackass to me is such low hanging fruit. Like those movies,
And yes, they made 7 of them.
It's kind of like Napoleon Dynamite to me. That movie was stupid, but it's another talk for another day. And Hater, you're awesome. I've met you a couple of times. You're cool, but those movies, man, not your best work.
Somebody didn't get the jokes. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That the only thing that movie's good for are the references. Uncle Rico, Gardner Minshew, 150%. That is the best meme ever.
I don't know what I hate more, Napoleon Dynamite or Blaze of Glory.
You should hate Napoleon more. Because you got a really hot Jenna Fisher in Blades of Glory. you got Pam in tights, man. You can't really argue against that.
Both are pretty bad movies. But anyway.
But funny story, you mentioned Blades of Glory. I interviewed the legendary Bill Blair, the world record holder for special effects makeup portrayed in a career. Guess who's sitting in the Sexaholics Anonymous circle? Bill Blair, no makeup, as an extra just sitting there. Bet you guys didn't know that one. Boom!
What do you got for Video Game Corner this week, man? Anything going on in the world of early games?
There's a massive update for Mortal Kombat. Didn't update any of the graphics on Switch, though. Still $70 on the shelf. Fix your lives, Netherrealm Studio. Fix your lives. But anyway, Video Game Corner. There is a little bit of hype coming around this new My Hero Academia Battle Royale. Haven't gotten my hands on it. Technically still in beta, but if you guys have gotten to try it, drop the comments and let us know what you think. My Hero movies are great, or My Hero show. The My Hero Academia show is great. From what I can see of the clips and everything, you're running around as the students of UA High School doing battle with the powers. I haven't gotten my hands on it, but I need to get my hands on it. It looks good. More stuff on the Video Game Corner. I would say EAFC has been well received, which is shocking because most of the time FIFA games don't get good reviews until they're going out of style. Mm-hmm. So usually at the end of the year, they go, oh man, we really like FIFA now. But EAFC has been well received with the new name switch over. Systems feel great. The movements are phenomenal. My team looks good. Ultimate Team looks good. If you guys haven't gotten your hands on it, get your hands on it now. NHL 24 came out as well. You guys know me. I play sport games. It's a cool game. It's a bit of an upgrade. Gosh, if you guys haven't gotten your hands on Liza P, I know I mentioned it last episode. It is on Game Pass. Get it while you can.
I think Gotham Knights is now too, right?
Gotham Knights is also on Game Pass as well. A lot of people have been bugging me to play that. I won't touch it. It's a great idea, but they didn't do a very good job executing. It's kind of like the Avengers. The Avengers had potential and it didn't do well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great idea. It's a great team to focus on as well to do that idea. But the execution fell flat, unfortunately, which is why it's on Game Pass. But if you guys enjoy those characters and like the story, apparently the story is not bad. Also, Blizzard and Activision are officially purchased. Microsoft has them. Activision was kind of being held up in litigation. Obviously, they're the same company now, but it was kind of held up in some litigation, but they were cleared to purchase it. And the original purchase price, I think, was $170 million. They dropped to 64.
Damn.
Legal fees, man. Legal fees are a mug. So that's done. We can expect seeing those games hitting our shelves, our Game Pass shelves. I'd be shocked if they wait till summer of 24, but maybe holiday 24.
So when you think Activision and Blizzard, what's the main titles that you think people?
Call of Duty, World of Warcraft. You're already seeing some of it with like the League of Legends stuff. You get XP boost, you get unlocked all the characters, stuff like that. If you link your Game Pass with the Riot stuff. Same with Valorant, you get a bunch of free stuff. There's probably going to be some things dropping for World of Warcraft for that. Call of Duty, like I said, Call of Duty. They'll probably drop some of the old Call of Duties, and maybe some remasters could be in the works. Speaking of, Modern Warfare 3 beta is out now. Get your pew on. I want nothing to do with it until all the bugs are fixed. Oh my gosh, Blizzard and Activision. Overwatch is obviously part of Blizzard, but they're already on. They're making their way to Game Pass anyway.
Wasn't Sony talking about a huge purchase, or didn't they recently make a huge purchase?
They were just hold on, I'll tell you in just a second.
Because I feel like there was conversation that like a Halo on PlayStation. Like I feel that did they try to buy who does Halo?
Halo is 343.
Maybe that. I feel like there may have been conversation about Sony buying something that used to be like very Xbox exclusive. This was a while ago though, so I don't know if it came to pass. But no, that's crazy.
Bungie.
Bungie, that's what it was. Yes.
Like the they're trying to make it was $3.6 billion they bought Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
But Destiny 2 still dropped on, Mm-hmm. But Blur, Caesar, Call of Duty, Candy Crush is available, Crash Bandicoot, Diablo, DJ Hero, Empire Earth, Gabriel Knight, Geometry Wars, Guitar Hero, Gunn, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Lost Vikings, Overwatch, Phantasmagoria, don't know that one, Pitfall, Prototype, Skylanders, Soldier of Fortune, Space Quest, Spyro, StarCraft, Tony Hawk Pro Skater is a big one. True Crime and World of Warcraft are like the big games that will be available. They're thinking will be available on Xbox Game Pass, if not for purchase on Xbox. Very, very soon. Like not very soon, probably 6 to 12 months.
Awesome. That's gonna be cool. And Xbox, Microsoft does need some wins because to me they have the weaker library, especially when it comes to
better console.
When it comes to exclusives, like there's not that many Xbox exclusives you think of. People are like, like Red Dead and blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, that Sony. So Xbox needs some wins in their camp that they can start making some titles besides Halo that people think of when they say Xbox. So it sounds like these developers may help them with that.
Hopefully they can collaborate and make some really good Microsoft games. Yes.
Right. I really don't have anything hot take wise this week. I'm not really crazy about anything unless I get heated in my next couple of topics here. So wrestling talk.
Oh, surprisingly, I don't have any hot takes this episode. Screw another run. Anyway.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So Nick Aldis is signed with the WWE. He has been doing a trial period as a producer in the back for a couple months now. And he is signed on that dotted line. Actually, this is not news to people in the wrestling world now because he made an appearance on SmackDown. He's the new SmackDown general manager on-air personality. I'll say this. They did kind of do Nick Aldis dirty. I watched the segment, and it came across very awkward to me. like he should at least got somewhat of the Cody treatment, in my opinion, because if you're a wrestling fan, and you're a fan of things outside of the WWE, you have an idea who Nick Aldis is, right? Because you probably are familiar with his time in Impact. You're probably familiar with his time with NWA. Yeah, you're probably familiar with the series matches he did with Cody Rhodes, etc. And what did they do with this guy to be like? So Triple H, Adam Pearce, and Dominic Mysterio are in the ring. And Triple H makes this off comment about you have to talk to the new SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis about that. And he enters stage left from I think he was sitting at the commentating table or something like that. And this comes into the ring, no music, no nothing, just into the ring. They could have made this a little bit more of a spectacle. At least have him come down the ramp and have Nick Aldis pop on the Titantron and try to get the pop that way. But the way they did it didn't allow, in my opinion, enough time for the crowd to even try to digest or react to it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So he came across as a nobody, where I don't think that should have been the intention or should have happened. Because I think if you would allow time for that pop to happen, if you would allow time for the music to hit and Nick Aldis to pop on the screen and for him to have his moment on the ramp and just be looking down and staring at the Dominic Mysterio and staring at everybody in the ring and slowly making his way down to the ring, you would have been able to build that up. But the segment seemed oh, by the way, Nick Aldis is here. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but
I came across weird because I've even a casual like me has seen his face. It didn't make much sense to me. It came off kind of disrespectful. But again, WWE is really good about doing that. They're also really good at undervaluing talent. Looks like that's going to kind of change now. But again, we expect these changes. We expect better, and we get that.
Yeah.
Because Triple H had his hands directly on that. He was part of the segments. So there was a table read.
Yeah. You can't tell me there wasn't enough time for him to actually make an actual entrance.
Considering they've been working with him for how long on the trial basis, and then you decide, stand out of line, you're on tomorrow. No, that wasn't that. Nothing happens without time of talk. The head needs to be at least a week ahead most of the time it's established, and then it gets rammed through. So the first and foremost thing, WWE is a production, and when things lack production, they lack importance in the eye of the spectator. So it's exactly right when you said. He didn't like he was a nobody. He walked in. It was, oh look, there's a person. It just SmackDown general manager, Raw wrestling general managers in every capacity, whatever show they're on, they're very involved. If I'm not mistaken, right? Eric Bischoff was a general manager. Mm-hmm. Ric Flair was a general manager at some point, right?
Yeah, Teddy Long, Kurt Angle,
huge names. And then just to randomly insert Nick Aldis, the way it wasn't even who they inserted; it's how they inserted it.
Yeah,
it was a whoop, like a popping up daisy. Cool, Nick Aldis. Why should I care? Their ramp and that. What's the biggest, brightest thing in the entire production of WWE? What is
the Titantron, the ramp? Yeah, the entrance, the
entrance. Everybody that when we talked about going to the AEW show here, mm-hmm. What kind of seats did you want?
I want to be able to have a good view of the entrance.
You don't that was the first thing you said, and you're wrestling. You didn't want to be anywhere near the ring,
right?
Especially not stage left of the ring, so you're not even looking at the ring technically. When they say new SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis, music, fireworks. Titantron, come down the ramp, get excited. Everyone should be excited that Nick Aldis is here. This just told me that the WWE isn't even don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're pumped to have Nick Aldis as their general manager for SmackDown. But did they show it at all? Did they show to the people watching that he's important at all?
No, that's the thing. And it's just he came into the ring with no pop. No pop at all. People are just no.
There wasn't even a chance. You're right with the whole processing that people had to get their phones out and Google him, guys. Come on, put the name up there so they can Google.
Right. So it was just came across bad to me. If you guys have a chance to see the segment, or if you have and disagree with me and thought it was a fine introduction, I'm willing to have that conversation. It didn't hit for me.
I got a hot take. Put the hot take thing up.
Got it.
For the record, y'all on TikTok, Twitterverse, whatever. I don't care about the hate, y'all, and popping up and saying what a shitty take, or oh that's a trash take, or it's a take. You got an opinion? You got a camera? You obviously have a phone or a computer. Make content. No one's coming into your channel talking about, oh well, who? No. If you have a take that makes ours shitty, by all means, duet, stitch, all of that stuff. I don't bring it on. I love to debate. I love to talk. Adrian loves to talk. It's why we're doing this. We're gonna have opinions. If you think we're wrong, cool. Tell us why. Don't just say what a shitty. Like, we have literally gotten line comments.
Yes,
that's a trash take. No, that's a trash take because you're not backing up with any context, information, or anything else telling us why it's a crappy take. Some people have come back and told us why. Like, if I sit there, if I come at you in the comments, it's Branden 2K. I don't hide behind user blinkety blinkety blinkety. Branden 2K is right here on the screen. I'm Branden 2K. I'm going to come in and talk to you with my own username. If I come in there and ask you why and you give me a valid answer, kudos, man. Like, you brought information and a constructive, or at least a valid conversation. Saying it's trash, give me some context here. Like, I want to know why I'm trash. So, guys, I love positive comments. I love negative comments. I do not care. I do not care. I want to talk to you. So continue with the comments. I'm not saying stop the hate. I'm saying bring hate with receipts and credentials or information that would make your opinion proper. Like, I'm good to go. I'm completely secure in my opinion. Let's see your opinions. Comment down below. Comment in the TikTok, Twitter, whatever. Interact with us. We love this.
And I'm fully expecting at least one person to be like, "Who's Nick Aldis?" in the comments. Right. Mickey James' husband. I mean,
there you go. That'll be the first thing somebody types in.
Next story I want to touch on is, this has been true for a little bit, but Jade Cargill is with the WWE. She's starting to make some promo appearances, and she had an interaction with Charlotte on SmackDown recently. And they had a little face-off. Sit in a way, because there's this element of people should just know who Jade Cargill is. And if you're not a fan of AEW or bother to watch AEW, you have no idea who this chick is. But they're painting her off like the confrontation she had, the face-off she had with Charlotte was supposed to be. It was portrayed like it should be a very big deal. But I feel like there's a portion of the audience that don't know why it's a big deal. Does it make sense?
Yep.
I feel like I know who Jade Cargill is because I'm a massive wrestling fan, right? Like, and I was aware of her way before AEW actually, but when she was training at Booker T's Academy, and then she went on to train at Cody Rhodes' Academy. But I'm getting to the weeds here. But I'm saying, like, if you're not familiar with that, right? Then
why should we care?
Right. And I'm not saying Jade Cargill and Nick Aldis are on the same level, because I don't believe that. I'm just saying that there's some parallels in how they're being treated right now on the production of them. And there's this sense of winking at the audience too much, I feel, or winking at the wrestling fan too much, that you're forgetting that WWE's forgetting the majority of their audience are casuals, or they're this loyal WWE people.
We tend to follow more productions than just one.
Yeah. And so I feel like because she's had confrontations, she's had stare downs with Charlotte and a couple other people. And I feel like
Rhea Ripley wants her so bad.
Yeah. And I feel like they're like, we're shaping up for these big marquee fantasy bookings, fantasy matchups. And I believe that's true. I believe that Jade Cargill versus Charlotte, Jade Cargill versus Ripley are all going to be bangers. But you have to get people to care about Jade Cargill first.
And not just for beating whoever she's going to beat.
Right. Because Jade Cargill could very well be to some degree, like their next sort of like China. She very well could be that. I could definitely see her. She did it in AEW. She done it in the Indies. Facing off against men. That sort of thing.
To be fair, I've noticed that WWE just doesn't want that to happen.
Right.
I've noticed that since China has been gone, and I understand it's because Triple H is part of production, and it's a sore spot probably. But if anyone was going to wrestle a dude, Rhea Ripley in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, she's already had confrontations with male wrestlers, and she's like body slammed a couple of them. The fact that hasn't happened is just mind-boggling.
It is.
Especially with all the controversy out there with trans athletes and stuff like that. I'm surprised. And this is me making WWE sound like a dirtbag, but they like capitalizing on controversy. It's why Crown Jewel started, guys.
I mean, they kind of dabbled with that with Nia Jax a few years ago when she was in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but how? Like you said it yourself. You said dabbled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when's the last time WWE did mixed tag?
Right.
I think, and the last time they did it with the biggest names that were out there right then and there.
Yeah,
I don't even remember the last one. It was Ronda versus Triple H type situation.
Yeah, I forgot who was in Ronda's corner. Was it Kurt Angle or The Rock? Guys, it was one of them. It was one of them versus Triple H and Stephanie. I want to say it was The Rock. I want to say it was Ronda and The Rock versus Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find it.
Could have been Kurt Angle though, for some reason.
Oh, 2021. R-Truth and Tamina versus Dana Brooke and Reggie. That doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. But there's a Ronda one.
Yeah.
I want to say Ronda and Rock versus Triple H and Stephanie, maybe. Guys, let me know what I'm thinking of. It was because I want to say it was her introduction at WrestleMania that year. But yeah, but you're right. It very rarely happens.
It was Kurt Angle. Oh,
it was Kurt Angle. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. It very rarely happens. And
there was also Rock and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie.
Okay.
So there's both. You were right. That's why you couldn't figure out which one was last.
Right.
But like, don't get me wrong. The AEW mixed tags feel like a lot more serious. That was a feud settling type thing. Mm-hmm. I feel like the mixed tag gets taken so much more serious than AEW. That's just, I think it's maybe because they have so much talent, they can just make it serious. But WWE is right there on their heels with as much talent, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It seems to me that there's a lot of stuff that WWE wants to do, and then there's a lot of stuff they don't want to do, and they're doing what they want to do.
Yeah, and I'm excited for Jade Cargill. We'll see how she's treated in the WWE, but
would you have been more excited if she had a better debut?
For sure.
Come on, Triple H.
So Edge is in AEW.
Who cares? Next, I'm just kidding.
Adam Copeland. So
the same music.
You did. It said you think you know me as you think you know him, but that's the only change they made. But he got to keep his theme music, and he probably feels like a little bit of a fish out of water because he went from WWE crowds to AEW crowds. And that's no offense to AEW, but it has to be for somebody like Edge, a shell shock a little bit. To the point
it's noticeably quieter lately.
Yeah. And obviously they're going down the road of Christian versus Edge, which I think is a safe play for them. That's a story that needs to be told. It was told in the WWE, but you can tell it now. So yeah, it's a big get for them. It definitely is. It's a big get for them, and it kind of fills that CM Punk void. They lost Punk, they got Edge.
Kind of a win.
Yeah, so kind of fills that a major star jumping void.
Long time star, recent comeback story, feel good story. Man worked his booty off to get back.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure at some point we'll probably see Beth Phoenix too, his wife, in some sort of angle or something like that. There, I'm
sure that was part of the negotiations.
Yeah.
To be honest, he's good to wrestle. He's not good to wrestle all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there was negotiations that, hey, you want some more money? Bring Beth in. We'll make it even more. We'll sweeten the pot.
Yeah. So we'll see where his career goes. AEW has a hard on for XWE Legends.
It's just to stick a fork in them, though.
Yeah, it is because they have a ton on their roster that they really don't do nothing with. You got Mark Henry there; it's not doing really anything. You got Big Show there; it's not really doing really anything, and the list goes on. Like
Mark Henry on a football field more than I've seen Mark Henry in a wrestling ring. He's obviously been to Colorado to talk to Coach Prime and the boys, but no. I'll reiterate. It's a great get, and I guess they have enough talent to make sure they only makes an appearance about once a month, but I'd make sure you want to make that appearance very, very, very heavily publicized so you guys can make some money off.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds pretty empty in there. I'm hearing echoes off the walls.
Yeah. my fear is Edge is going to end up just like Big Show and Mark Henry, where like they're on the roster for the sake of saying they're on the roster. So hopefully I'm wrong.
Here's hoping.
Leo Rush, my dude, announces he's stepping away from wrestling again for quote. This is like a yearly thing from him announcing his retirement. This time he's saying it's due to quote unquote a sickness. He didn't elaborate. This is a sickness. But yeah, this is a yearly thing for Leo Rush. Usually it corresponds with him like not getting his way, or from him being disgruntled with the promotion he's with.
I don't like my direction. I'm sick. Cough, cough. Not saying that's the case this time, but Leo, we need some more information, bud. We need to make sure this is legit.
And Leo Rush is a really cool talent. He's really, really good. I love Leo Rush. Mm-hmm. Rush is awesome. Mm-hmm. He just got off a pretty good run with Impact Wrestling. He was their Activision champion. Recently lost it to Chris Sabin, but he had a really good little run with it. Him and Chris Sabin had a pretty good feud. He's an amazing cruiserweight. He can do some things in that ring that not many people can. It's just that how many times are you going to say you're stepping away from wrestling for people who just don't care no more?
100%. I agree with you. I think we need to know exactly why, if it's a legit thing, or if it's just to get his buzz up, get his name in the papers, get his name on the websites, people start talking about him again, so he can get popular again. He can start working.
And he has a good thing going. I mean, he's he's like one of the most over American stars in New Japan. He, like I said, had the run in Impact. Unless there's something I'm missing, he doesn't have a bad career right now.
Maybe he expected more out of his career. He is kind of a correct me if I'm wrong, kind of on the prima donna side of things.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So maybe he's just like, oh, New Japan is not what I thought it was going to be. This is as fun as I thought it was going to be. So I'm out. Peace.
But yeah, Leo Rush, Branden 2K's right. I need a little bit more from you here. And quote unquote sickness. Like, would you got a cold or what? Like,
sickle cell. What's going on? You can't catch sickle cell. Pardon my stupid.
Like, are you growing a third arm? Like, well, I need some information, man.
Did you eat some bad chicken?
Right.
It's been going around, man. See all these TikToks. These white girls been cooking. I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say
some chicken marinated in mayonnaise or something. Like what's going on here?
I saw someone make chicken breast boiling they boiled it in water, mayonnaise, salt, and pepper.
Oh, gross.
I spoiled it. I was like, your house is now cursed. Every egg that was in that mayonnaise is now a full-grown chicken haunting your house.
That's the most disgusting thing I've heard of in my life. Like that. That's
so bad.
Ew. Gross.
Shocked.
But yeah, Leo, we'll tell you more once you hear more. This is pretty new for Leo Rush. Well,
if you hear something, comment.
Yeah. If you hear something before we able to get to it, yeah, definitely comment. I mean, not new. This is not new for Leo Rush, but this is news this is the time of the year for Leo Rush. It's kind of like seeing the groundhog, right? Like seeing the like, did you see the shadow? Like Leo Rush is announcing his retirement again.
Perfect. That is exactly what it is.
But it's a time to pay the bills. So we have two awesome sponsors that back us. The first one is in the corner or on Branden 2K side. It's StreamYard. It's what we use to broadcast to you fine people here, to you fine nerds. There's a free tier, But if you want a pay tier, which opens up a lot of doors for you, be able to broadcast in 1080p, be able to broadcast on multiple streams at once, etc., bigger storage, all those fun things, be able to take the watermarks off, the StreamYard watermarks off your videos. All that fun stuff is under pay tiers. If you want to save $10 off that plan for your first month, you can use our affiliate link in the description. It is indeed, I want to emphasize that it is indeed an affiliate link. So if you click it, we do get a little bit back. You'll be supporting the channel. So, but if you click it, you'll be able to save $10 off as long as you check out through that link. Our other fine sponsor,
Apex Energy Drink is so stinking hot right now that it's sold out. It's gone. You can't even get your hands on it right now.
it's off the
You
shelf.
cannot get, we are whatever our code will not work because you cannot order anything right now. But here's the good news, guys. The fine folks at Apex are working tirelessly day and night, securing new suppliers and securing new flavorings even to bring back in full force their just outstanding product because it's gone, guys. They can't it's gone. So when they are back up and running, we will let you know. But until then, you can check out apexenergydrink.com and prepare yourself for the release when it decides to, when things come back to fruition. So stick with us, guys. We'll be updating you guys periodically on them, but they are still awesome and sponsor us. We still have our tubs. We still have our shaker cups. We're still enjoying their cherry limeade and also their bomb pop flavor. Also citrus blast, pretty, and blue raspberry. All their fine flavors. Again, apexenergydrink.com. They will be up and running shortly. Bear with them. They are local and amazing. It is such a good product. None of that foot fungus taste you get from your other powdered energy drinks. So stick with it. You'll be able to order some very, very soon. But shout out to them for taking care of us, and we take care of them just the same.
And be looking out for that new code.
Yes, the new code. It'll be PWN20, saving you 20% off. PWN20. It'll save you 20%. And we will, honestly, on that one, we're just passing on the savings to you guys. So a lot of people say 10. We're getting you 20.
What a great marriage, though, man, with these sponsors, right? Because, if you're looking to get into the streaming world, you get yourself some Apex, you save yourself $10 off StreamYard, you'll be ready to go to record that first stream. You'll be all
ready to go.
Ready to go. I mean, what a perfect marriage. Get yourself StreamYard, get yourself Apex. All your streaming needs are covered, man. You got your drink, you got your platform, and you're good to go.
There you go.
So,
all right, guys, that is it for us.
Yes.
We've sat here. We've talked to you day and night, creeping into your offices, on your radios, on your phones even. Have you guys hit that subscribe link? The subscribe link that's just right here under my head if you're watching this on YouTube. Make sure you guys push that, and that way you guys get notified when we drop our episodes, and we'll drop other content as well. Adrian is a mastermind when it comes to editing. There are some amazing lists that have been gracing our channel, and hopefully in the near future, I will get these stinking game clips to him so he can make some game clips as well. If you're not subscribed, click here right below my head. It says subscribe. Or if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you hear your podcast, make sure you guys hit that follow button. It helps let us know that there are people out there wanting to hear us, and we love to hear that because otherwise we wouldn't do this. Don't get me wrong. We love talking to ourselves, but our primary focus is talking to you fine folks. So make sure you guys are following along, commenting. All of our socials are listed below. Adrian, is there anything that you missed or I missed in our farewell or anything else?
Not really. This as always, I wanted to tell you fine folks, they always tell you in every episode, you keep it nerdy, my friends.
Keep it nerdy. Keep it nerdy.